house, and we were all going to sleep down there on the couches, or pretty much anywhere you could lay. As I'm about to go down to the basement and get ready for sleep, the man walks through the front door. No knocking, no text, no anything. Just confidently walks straight in the house. I don't know why, but my initial reaction was fear. I pretended to be happy to see him though, and I gave him a small hug. I asked him why he was there, to which he never gave a real response. All the lights were out and everyone was gone. I was gesturing around and hinting at him that the party was over and that he had missed it. I felt bad that he had made the effort and decided to speak with him for a few minutes before I went to bed. We talked. I told him I was going to get ready for bed and that I'm sorry he missed the party. He just says, "Yeah, that's fine. This dude is just not getting the hint to leave." So I leave the room and I go to change my clothes and set myself up a bed, brush my teeth, etc. I'm just hoping that he will leave, but I don't hear any movement from the other room. When I come back to the living room to check and see if he's actually still there, he is, and he's asleep on the couch. I obviously found this strange, but I just assumed it was late and that he must have been really tired. He didn't seem out of place as there were various other people sleeping at the house as well. I went to the basement and I found myself a place to sleep on the floor. About 30 minutes to an hour later, I'm lying on the floor still awake, thinking about how weird it is that he showed up. It's pitch black and there are a few other people sleeping there, including my friends. I hear someone in the dark slowly coming down the stairs. I see they're holding a cell phone light to guide them. As the figure reached the bottom of the steps, I see that it's him. Now, he has never been to this house. That isn't a nice suburban area, not a frat house, and I did immediately think it's weird that he would randomly be walking through a house of a person that he doesn't know. I pretended to be asleep. As I lie there frozen, I suddenly feel a tap on my shoulder. He doesn't say a word. He is over me and trying to wake me up. I don't move and I pretend to be asleep. I lay there in the dark silence and I'm listening for his footsteps to walk away. I can tell he is holding a light over me. Then, with no warning, this man takes a step back and with his boot on, kicks me full force in the face. I'm not talking about a little tap with his foot to wake me. No, full force boot kicks me directly in my face. My face goes numb. I didn't know what just happened. I can feel blood running down my nose. I open my eyes and I look at him and all I can remember saying is something like, "Why did you do that?" He just stared at me blankly and said nothing, turned around and walked back up the steps. I laid there paralyzed in fear. My heart is beating 1,000,000 times a minute. I don't know how long it was until I garnished the courage to get up, but eventually I army crawl in the dark over to my friend. Another man near her wakes up as well and I explained what happened. We were all half drunk, dazed, and confused to say the least. I can't stay in this basement. I know he left, but I was just too scared. My friend and the other guy offered to take me upstairs so I can sleep in my sister's room. So I go into my sister's room and lay next to her bed on the floor, and I shut the door behind me, but unfortunately there was no lock. I don't know how, but eventually I fell asleep. At some point, it's now morning, I wake up to my sister leaning over me. She asks, "What happened to your face and why are you in my room?" Right as I'm about to answer her, my friend who had helped me the night before comes flying into the room. She tells us that the guy is still there and asleep on the couch. She runs out and I can hear her screaming at him to get up and get out. I hear him arguing back and asking where I am. My friend tells him that I've left and he begins arguing that he knows my car is still there. I have no idea how he knew which car was mine as he had never seen it before, and that I hadn't taken my purse. Eventually he leaves. After that night he wrote me a message a few days later as if nothing had happened, asking me to hang out again. I blocked him and I've never heard from him again after that. I graduated only 2 months later and thankfully never seen him on campus. To this day, I have no idea why he kicked me in the face and how he had the balls to stay after that. I have learned my lesson about giving out my phone number. About 2 years ago, I used to work part-time at a popular pizza chain as a delivery driver. I had a full-time job during the day, so the shift at the pizza place would be from 6 p.m. to 12 p.m. I enjoyed the job for the fact that I made good money and it was easy, but I hated working at night because it was dangerous. One night we got a call 30 minutes before closing for a delivery in the worst part of town. I was stuck taking the order since my manager sent the other driver home early because it was a slow night. I hurriedly headed out to deliver the pizza. About 20 minutes later, my GPS said I had arrived. I couldn't read the house number as it was pitch dark and none of the houses had their porch light on. As a safety precaution, I called the customer to ask if they could turn on their light. He didn't answer until like the 6th ring. He tells me his house has 2 trash bins next to the curb, and that the light is broken so he can't turn it on. He hangs up the phone. I start walking through the front yard to the front door when I see a man staring at me through the window. I yell out hello to him, but no reaction. He doesn't even move to open the door. I'm getting goosebumps now and I decide to turn back around and go to the car. I call the customer again to come get his pizza from my car. He tells me in a slow, creepy voice to ignore his roommate, and he said that the door is unlocked and if I could take the pizza to the basement. As I'm on the phone, I could make out a small light from the window. The man that was staring at me earlier was on the phone talking to me. I hung up and took off. By the time I got back to the restaurant, phones were turned over, so any complaints would have to wait until the next day. I'm not delivering to any basements, and I'm taking your pizza home for dinner.